Welcome to our U.S. briefing program. Today, we're diving into some hot topics from around the nation and beyond. First up, the U.S. is caught in a legal storm over deporting migrants to South Sudan, a country plagued with violence. A judge has ordered officials to hold on to these migrants, raising questions about the legality and humanity of these deportations, especially given South Sudan's unstable situation. Next, we explore the mysterious world of presidential health. Ever wonder what secrets are kept behind the White House doors? Recent revelations about Joe Biden's health issues, including prostate cancer and mental decline, remind us that presidents have long hidden their health struggles to maintain their image and stability. It's a tradition that raises important questions about transparency and the transfer of power. Finally, in the tech world, NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang is calling out U.S. export controls on AI chips to China as a failure. With China rapidly developing its own tech, the restrictions seem to be backfiring, leading to a drop in NVIDIA's market share and revenue. Huang urges the U.S. to rethink these policies and focus on global cooperation, while NVIDIA invests heavily in the U.S. to boost AI innovation. Please continue to watch for more detailed insights. South China Morning Post reports on the recent legal challenges faced by the United States regarding its deportation practices, particularly involving Asians being sent to South Sudan amid ongoing conflict. A federal judge in Massachusetts has ordered U.S. officials to retain custody of migrants allegedly deported to South Sudan, emphasizing the need for humane treatment and the opportunity for migrants to contest their removal. Evidence suggests that the Trump administration may have violated court orders by deporting individuals from Myanmar, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Pakistan, and Mexico to South Sudan without proper notification or legal process, raising serious concerns about the legality and ethics of these actions. The situation is compounded by South Sudan's ongoing violence and human rights abuses, with the UN warning of a potential return to civil war, highlighting the dangerous conditions migrants face if forcibly returned. The South China Morning Post also delves into the secretive nature of U.S. presidents' health, revealing a pattern of concealment that extends back through history. From Franklin D. Roosevelt's polio to John F. Kennedy's undisclosed health issues, and William McKinley's near-fatal pneumonia, the White House has frequently hidden the true state of presidential health to maintain public image and political stability. More recently, President Biden's health has come under scrutiny, with reports of advanced prostate cancer and signs of cognitive decline, such as confusion and memory lapses, raising questions about transparency and constitutional protocols. The 25th Amendment, designed for such situations, complicates matters by potentially incentivizing further concealment, as aides may prefer to hide health issues to avoid presidential incapacity or removal. Nikkei Asia features NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang criticizing U.S. export controls on AI chips to China, calling them a failure that has only spurred Chinese innovation and increased local market dominance. The restrictions have significantly reduced NVIDIA's market share in China from nearly 95% to 50%, forcing the company to sell lower-spec chips and lose revenue. Huang emphasizes that Chinese companies like Huawei are rapidly advancing in AI technology, bolstered by government support, and that the export bans have unintentionally strengthened their capabilities. He advocates for a more open approach, suggesting that the U.S. should focus on exporting chips and infrastructure to allies rather than restricting sales, and highlights ongoing efforts to diversify manufacturing onshore for security and resilience. NVIDIA plans to invest heavily in AI infrastructure within the U.S., aiming to build up to $500 billion worth of AI servers, while maintaining its leadership in the global AI chip market amid ongoing geopolitical tensions. ABC reports on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent public slip, revealing that Israel's international allies are growing weary of the ongoing Gaza conflict. Netanyahu, usually a master of political messaging, inadvertently acknowledged that some of Israel's strongest supporters are uncomfortable with the humanitarian toll, especially the images of starving children. This moment hints at a potential turning point, as Netanyahu seems to suggest that international backing could be withdrawn if the images of suffering persist, implying that the war's conclusion might hinge on diplomatic pressure and the international community's patience. Despite Israel's initial free rein following Hamas's attack in October 2023, the global outcry over humanitarian crises has begun to influence Israeli policy, with Netanyahu reluctantly allowing limited aid to Gaza, though details remain opaque. This shift appears to be driven by political necessity, as internal voices within Israel's government, including far-right ministers, continue to push for a more aggressive stance, risking further international condemnation and complicating efforts to find a resolution. South China Morning Post discusses the resilience of the US dollar's dominance in the global financial system despite recent downgrades by Moody's, Fitch, and S&P. Singapore's central bank chief, Chia Durjayan, emphasizes that US dollar assets remain unparalleled in safety and systemic importance, especially the $28 trillion treasury market. While the Moody's downgrade to the US's credit rating has initially caused market volatility, Chia remains optimistic about the stability of dollar assets, citing their entrenched role in international finance. Asian investors, heavily exposed to US assets, are particularly sensitive to shifts in US economic prospects, but the overall outlook remains cautiously positive. This underscores the dollar's entrenched position as the world's key reserve currency, a status unlikely to be challenged soon, even as concerns about US fiscal health and growth prospects grow louder. Al Jazeera reports on the controversy surrounding President Joe Biden's health disclosures, clarifying that Biden was not diagnosed with prostate cancer until recently, despite critics alleging a cover-up. Biden's office stated that his last PSA test was over a decade ago, and he has never been diagnosed with prostate cancer before last week's diagnosis, which revealed an aggressive form that had spread to his bones. Critics like Donald Trump questioned why the public was not informed earlier, suggesting potential deception about Biden's health status. Medical experts note that at Biden's age, new diagnoses are plausible, as screening guidelines advise against routine prostate cancer testing for men over 70, and some cancers can evade detection. The controversy fuels ongoing debates about transparency and the health of aging political leaders, with some critics accusing Biden of concealing his decline to maintain political viability, while others argue that such diagnoses are not uncommon for someone of his age. Nikkei Asia reports that Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest individual and a prominent supporter of Donald Trump, has announced a significant reduction in his political spending, signaling a potential shift in his influence within the American political landscape. Musk, who previously poured over $250 million into supporting Trump's 2024 presidential campaign and actively campaigned alongside him, has now declared he will be spending a lot less on politics, citing a sense of having done enough. This decision follows a series of setbacks, including Musk's failed involvement in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race and the broader fallout from his association with the Department of Government Efficiency, which aimed to drastically cut federal agency budgets and workforce, often resulting in controversial and reverse decisions. Musk's past political activities, which included backing super PACs and supporting Republican candidates, were intertwined with his broader business ambitions, such as promoting his AI ventures and Tesla's innovations. However, his recent stance indicates a possible retreat from political meddling amid mounting backlash, protests at Tesla, and his expanding focus on new ventures like Neuralink, AI collaborations with Microsoft, and humanoid robots, suggesting that Musk's priorities are shifting toward technological innovation and business growth rather than political influence. Yahoo US highlights Representative Michael Baumgartner's urgent appeal to Secretary Kennedy to reopen the Spokane Research Laboratory, which was shuttered during the Trump administration's efforts to streamline federal agencies. Baumgartner emphasized the importance of this facility, which conducts vital research on workplace safety for miners, farm workers, and wildland firefighters, occupations critical to the western United States. The lab's closure, which threatened the jobs of nearly 90 workers, drew criticism from lawmakers who pointed out that similar offices had been reinstated elsewhere, such as in Morgantown, West Virginia. Baumgartner underscored the significance of the Spokane Lab's specialized focus on mining safety, especially as the nation seeks to boost domestic mineral production under President Trump's policies. Despite reassurances from the Department of Health and Human Services that essential functions are being maintained, critics argue that the lab's shutdown hampers crucial research and worker protections, raising concerns about the broader implications of government downsizing and reorganization efforts that risk undermining public health and safety initiatives. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.